Good morning, everyone. I decided to get all dressed up this morning just so I could introduce that we have a new co-star. I don't know what he is. Right now he's hiding upstairs because the police were here just a few minutes ago. Really, it was the sheriff's office, but I did accidentally hit the alarm on the alarm system, and I still have never set it up, and we've had it for like 6 months now. So, they've had to do that a couple times, and they're like, you still never set that up though. And I'm like, yeah, I know. They're like, are you gonna like do that? And I'm like, no, but I'm gonna keep saying hi to you guys. You want some coffee? And they said no. And then they said that I needed to learn how to use technology. But the silver lining in that is there is a new sheriff's deputy in Amherst County, and I got to meet him this morning. I don't know if he's new. I just hadn't met him yet. What? We do this all day long. It's really fun. He says something from upstairs that I can't hear, and he mumbles, and then I say, huh? And then we do that for 5 minutes until we're both yelling at each other, and bitch, what is your problem? And then we're like in each other's face, and then we're both like, huh? And it's really, really entertaining. But I'm not going to record any of that just yet because he walks around less than clothed. More than not clothed, but less than clothed. But yeah, mostly boxers, yeah. But anyway, I busted my lip up, so I look like I got a lip, injection thing. No, I have like a zit on this side. I put enough lipstick on, you can't see it. So this is basically an introduction for Eddie so that he can kind of see what I do. Oops. I'm going to hide the crazy writings on the refrigerator for him. So that's actually not for him. That was for one of his friends who was 20 years old who was here visiting. And the bottom line was, he is the only man who has stepped foot in this house in the last 6 months. Eddie, you don't count because you live here. Otherwise, he would not live here. He also didn't try to make a pass at me either, so be more like Trevor. Y'all suck. That's basically all it says. Then I gave his stats. I didn't want to give his stats online. He is a Leo. He's pretty cute, but he's 20. Anyway, so, oh, sorry, and if you watch this, Trevor, it's not you, it's the age thing. I'm an ageist. Try not to date my nephew's age range. Anyway, this morning, Eddie told me he needed some chapstick, so I went to the store and bought myself some. But I'm gonna make him some using some ingredients that I have around the house. And I decided I was gonna use today as an opportunity to start recording and see how his editing skills are. Because I'm tired of hitting that low power mode button and getting cut off in the middle of my filming. Also, I don't feel like editing. Also, he has a laptop now, and he's using my monitor, so I feel like he owes me one. Apart from that, I did put some makeup on this morning, mostly because when I found out the sheriff's deputies were coming, I figured why not. And I also, I had to look a little bit presentable because when I said I was getting ready for work, they were all like, yeah, Robin, we know you don't work, and we also know that your car is still gone, so where are you going? I was like, into my office. I'm working on my office right now, so I want to show you a little bit about a little bit of change that's gone on around the house. Eddie has like cleaned every freaking thing. And look at that, there's apples. And I know that this is the semi-crunchy mommy and none of you are gonna get to have this right now, but just be glad that you got your babies, okay? So it looks delightful. It looks like we're about to have tea, and I freaking adore it. I'm watching my language this season too. We need to put some stuff on the windows. Then, that looks pretty decently clean. It looks like there's some potatoes there, like that we're actually gonna eat. I'm gonna go around this way because that way, I got to it last night. I had the munchies and I ate apparently a CD and stuff. Oh, we're also not gonna look at the very messy room, but we are gonna look at this sunroom because this is my workspace. This is where most of the filming will be going on and has been going on, and we're painting, and we being me. And I did the coolest thing with this shelf. Oh, I can't. Okay, hold on. I gotta orient myself. I was sitting there looking at the shelf, and I was like, why am I gonna do it normal? I can't even. Okay, there we go. And I've moved things around a couple of times. Things are not exactly where they need to be, and the little babushka doll, whatever the frick she's called, she changes based on my personality and my mood, since, you know, people have a hard time with the fact that I have, you know, Rampage Robin. What else do we got? We've got Religious Robin. She's gone to bed for a little while. Mostly because God was like, Robin, just take a break from me for a second because you're a little overwhelming. And I did. And so, but we're still, you know, cool and everything. You know, God's still, you know, my home girl, since she's decided to become a mom again. And, or not again, but for the majority of the creation, I guess, she's been a God. She's been our father. So since she pulled me back and allowed me to come back to Earth after my suicide attempt, she had told me that I was a good enough mom that I won a prize. And since I have not been fulfilling my part of the bargain for coming back, which was to actually do what the fuck she was telling me to do, I have decided that I'm going to stop being lazy. I'm going to start recording this series, and I'm going to teach you all a little bit more about becoming sustainable. I have found that there are a lot of families that seem to have lost touch with their children, and they push medicines, even natural ones, at their kids because they are misbehaving in school. They've got really bad ADHD, they've got insomnia, they've got whatever. Sorry about that. I'm going to teach you guys how to get your kids to help you, get your kids to not be bored, get your kids to do whatever the heck you want them to do because they're your children, and they're going to enjoy it, they're going to love it, and they're going to love you more, being able to participate in your life. And I know this for a fact because I had a 2-year-old who basically helped me do every single freaking thing under the sun for his little baby. And somebody recently said to me, oh, isn't that unhealthy to, you know, teach him that he's got all that responsibility at such a young age for his sister and blah, blah, blah. And I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, you know what? I never thought of that, and I'm glad that you're now bringing this to my attention. But actually now he's like, Olivia, shut up. Ugh. So he can't stand her. So it's normal. We've you know, reached the full cycle of brother-sisterdom. And I really don't right now see where we went wrong in that. He actually helped me a lot. He was very protective of her. If somebody came near the grocery cart while I had her in the car seat and him in the top, he'd be like, get away! And he was very rude. But I would laugh, and it was funny because, you know, who the fuck cares? But we did... I would say that the only real... Oh, and that's how I'm keeping myself warm at night when the wind starts coming. It is draft, yeah. It's the guys were talking basketball stuff yesterday, and I don't... Now I get confused. So anyway, I think that, you know, creating a family dynamic where everybody gets involved is very, very important, and especially as a former lactation consultant and as a nurse, a former nurse, this is the first time that I'll be able to really get everything done and tell you guys exactly, you know, what my opinion is and what evidence-based research recommends, without risk of losing my license. However, I don't know what that means for the future. And if you are an IBCLC or an RN and you have any insight as to that, you are more than welcome to comment. I very, very highly recommend any criticism that I can get, if it's constructive. If you don't like the way I look, I'm sorry, I don't either, and I was born this way, and my dad has a real funny joke about that one. And then, you know, if you have something about the way that I talk, if it's annoying, because I did see somebody the other day and I wanted to just very kindly offer her some recommendations, but I didn't want to do it publicly. So there is a messaging section, and then if not, leave a comment and say, hey, I have something I want to address personally, and then I'll, you know, figure it out from there. But otherwise, everybody's been very tasteful in their criticisms and their feedback, and I really appreciate it because it helps me grow and it helps me create a better show. The room was a disaster, and some people were distracted by that. No shit, I was too. So we're working on it, and I had some dude up in here fixing the plaster, and I was like, please don't do that part because I think that that's gonna actually make it crumble, and it did. But you know, he does that for a living, so I'm not that worried about it. Anyway, I'm gonna teach you all how to do some of that stuff too, because guys, I know some of you weren't taught how to use a hand drill. I wasn't either. I had to teach myself, and I screwed up a few boards, but I did a few boards outside before I started screwing up a wall. That was Brendan. I still love Brendan though. Brendan's still my homeboy. But he did. He screwed a couple things up. So, you know, back to the same old, except this time, hopefully Eddie's going to be able to help me edit. So you don't have to listen to me ramble like you just did for 11 minutes and 34 seconds. Okay, just